What's up, people? Nature Girl 30 here, and this is the Saturday edition of NG Minute. Now, honestly, guys, I have watched SmackDown and I watched TNA, and let's just say I had a hint of disappointment in both. Now, let's get started with TNA, shall we? Honestly, I was ecstatic to know that the middle-aged mafia has decided to break up and go their separate ways. This is something they should have done a long time ago, because the main reason why they got together was to take down Bully Ray and prevent him from being champion. Well, when he lost his championship to Chris Sabin, that kind of gave him less of a relevancy for them to even still be together. They were completely irrelevant as a faction. They should have broke up a long time ago. And when they decided to do that, it really did make me happy. It really did. But then here comes the major disappointment. I was so crunk to know that the Aces and Eights were going to finally break up because I was getting so tired of them. They were losing members. They became less and less relevant on the show. They weren't doing anything to the storyline, and it was just getting plain boring. And then they added a chick in there thinking that somehow Reigns was going to go up, and it never did. So when I finally thought they were going to break up the faction, I was ecstatic. I'm like, oh my gosh, where are they going to go with this? And then I end up getting fooled because the entire thing was just to trick Mr. Anderson into thinking that the Aces and Eights were breaking up just to beat him down. Yeah. How disappointing is that? I'm telling you, it was majorly disappointing for me. I was just so disappointed, I cut off. I stopped watching it. I just cut it off. Didn't care. Cut off. Seriously. I really try to be a fair reviewer, guys. I really tried to get through it, but honestly, I could not get through this Impact. Knowing that the Aces and Eights are still together. And honestly, if you guys want to tell me what happened on TNA, fine. I don't care. Leave a comment in the comment section below about everything that you know about TNA. Because honestly, I cut off. As soon as I found out the Aces and Eights were together, I might go back and watch it. Who knows? But right now, just a huge bucket of disappointment. This is what it was. A huge, big bucket of disappointment was TNA for me to know that the Aces and Eights were still around. But anyway, let's move on to SmackDown. Another faction that won't go away is the corporate faction. Trust me, guys, I am so tired of these corporate factions. I'm just sick to death of them. And when it comes to WWE/WWF, they will beat these factions to death. Like, seriously, they will beat them so far over your head to where that you will literally be bleeding for months. No lie. They will never ever give up their corporate angle for at least a good 6 months to a year. Hence the McMahon-Helmsley era, hence the Ruthless Aggression era with all the corporate factions. It was just, it's tedious. And now you got Corporate Kane, and that had and somehow they had, and I do kind of like these exclusives that they have with Triple H and Michael Cole talking behind the scenes. I like that, but good grief, now Kane is going to Twitter. Oh, buddy. I just want this whole corporate thing to end. And then speaking of ending, there is no way on this planet that I was going to be excited about seeing Curtis Axel go against CM Punk. I like CM Punk, honestly, to be in to actually open the show. I love the fact that he did because he was pretty much trying to call out Bray Wyatt. And I'm excited about that feud too. But let's face it, Curtis Axel is irrelevant without Paul Heyman. And he's irrelevant. He's a relevant champion. Like, seriously, he's the forgettable one. Nobody can really remember him even when he has that belt. The only way you can remember him is who his dad is. And honestly, he is not living up to his dad's legacy, so that he needs to stop bringing that up, and he needs to change his theme music because the fact is he is not doing his dad's legacy a service. He's a great wrestler. He can be a great champion if he finds his own identity. He needs to stop identifying himself with Mr. Perfect because he can't live up to that legacy. He can't. So honestly, he needs to try to do something else. And I really do feel that they need to drop the belt on him because they're doing nothing but wasting our time seeing that belt on the shoulders collecting rust on that man. It's collecting rust being on that man's shoulders. And honestly, it just needs to move on. They need to move on with another champion and not him. But anyway, enough ranting about that. Honestly, the one thing that really excites me about the show is the fact that they actually are doing a lot of good things with the Wyatt family. It makes me happy that day in, day out, by the month, They're making him more diabolical, more sinister, more like an enigma. You know, they give him this real sinister behavior, and I mean, they're the best psychotic heels I have seen in the PG era, and they haven't feud not only with one guy, not two guys, but three guys. I guess the Miz is probably cut out the whole feud now, but now it's between Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And honestly, that's really great. I mean, I really do hope the Wyatt family wins, because it'll be a great way to put them over, and they need it. So honestly, that's the only thing I'm looking forward to on that show, is to actually see a Survivor Series match between CM Punk and Daniel Bryan versus the Wyatt family. I would love to see that happen, seriously. But honestly, the only match they kind of pushed so far was the Big Show versus Randy Orton. And yeah, they kind of show what happened on Raw, as they usually do. But seriously, I don't know. I just really didn't care much for this SmackDown. I really wanted to, but there was a handful of good things in there, but it just really wasn't all that great. And the Divas match they had, that was the first Divas match I've seen on SmackDown in a while. So that's pretty darn good. But the problem is, with me, is that AJ Lee's whole Lolita skipping around thing is starting to become old and stale. They need to find something better for her. Because it's just, she has nothing. Like, seriously, she has nothing. She's a great heel, but she's a great wrestler. She only has one technical move that she always goes to. And honestly, I don't know why it's so hard to not be her. Like, seriously, you can kick her in the head one time and she's out. That's all you have to do. And but I will say about this, Cameron has really she's improved a lot in the ring, or Ariane on the show. She's really has improved a lot in the ring, and I really am impressed with her in-ring ability. She's starting to improve greatly, and Trinity will be a great woman to be in the singles. If they ever decide to break up the Funkadactyls, she would be great in the whole single stretch. Like, seriously, she would be a champ. I can imagine her being a champ one day, but just not now. But honestly, the match itself was kind of one-sided. Tamina Snuka, I mean, the biggest competition Tamina will pretty much have is against Trinity, maybe. Ariane did put up a good fight, but it was all about AJ Lee and it's all about AJ Lee winning. But I really do feel that if they don't put Tamina Snuka aside, that she's going to but she's going to shadow over AJ Lee, and it kind of eclipse AJ Lee, and it'll be all about Tamina, just like how it was with Big Zeke and Brian Kendrick. It was all about the bodyguards, and if you have a bodyguard that big and that powerful, that bodyguard is going to step into the limelight, and you're going to be pushing the shadows. And that's how I'm pretty much seeing with AJ Lee. She's going to be pushing in the shadows sooner or later if they keep this whole bodyguard thing up. But anyway, guys, my overall thoughts of the show is that SmackDown was kind of an average show. I would pretty much give it a rating of a B-, C+. And as for TNA, good grief, at least they got rid of one faction. I'm not going to completely downgrade the show, but I cut off as soon as I found out the Aces and Eights were there. I might go back and watch it, but just not right now. I don't think I have the stomach for it. But anyway, guys, I want to hear your overall thoughts of both shows. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Send a video response on how you feel about both shows or what you would do to correct them. It's Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.